big announcement. We have a lot of big announcements. They're sort of all big
より非常に大きいこれは。
It's wonderful to be in the Oval Office. I think you probably like it the best. You like
字
it
幕
the
テスト
best for press conferences? I sort of do. But today I'm
より非
excited
常に
to
大きいだか
announce
ら、
another
ここにいるのは素晴らしい大統領執務室。
quest to lower
おそらくあなたは机を気に入っているでしょ
drug
う。しかし今日私は、
You know, prices have come way down. We've gotten prices
興奮して
way
います。
down for groceries, for oil especially. Today we broke $60 barrel. We think the oil is going to be under $2
発表します。食料品はずっ
a
とした
gallon very soon.
食料
That's
品。
about 70% lower than what it was just a year
原油価
ago.
格が1バレル60ドルになったら考えようそれ。
When the oil comes down, everything comes
1
down.
ガロン
It's
2ドル。
pretty beautiful to watch.
まもなく約 70% 改善。それは何だったのかよりも。
pharmaceutical manufacturer in the
いいこととオイルの
United
時。
Kingdom
降りて
is
くると、
committing to
すべてが
offer
降りてくるした。
Americans major discounts on their vast catalog of prescription drugs, one of the great companies, by the way, and a most favored nation's pricing clause. So most favored nation is you're going to pay whatever the lowest price anywhere in the world is. That's what you're going to be paying. And I had it going very well in my first term, but we were interrupted by a rigged election, so I was unable to carry it forward. We started it, but this was something one of the reasons I wanted to run again was we had to have
AAA ストラゼニカは価格が下がった。
where
それは
the
何かだっ
world
た。
is not going to be
私たちは
paying
行くつもりだった。
just a
初めてやったけ
fraction,
ど最
just
初
a
に中
tiny
断し、
fraction of what we were paying. I want to thank CEO Pascal
これを実現したい。
Sorio, a very highly respected, one of the most
他の国と同じ
respected
よう
men
に。
in business and certainly in the industry, for joining
価格は
us
ほんの一
today,
部
as
彼らが
well
何
as
であったか。
Secretary Howard Lutnick, Secretary Robert F.
そして最
Kennedy
も尊敬されるビジネス界の男
Jr.,
性と、
CMS Administrator
今
Mehmet
日の業界
Oz,
今日私たちに参加する同
FDA
じように、
Commissioner Marty
ハワー
McCary,
ド、ルトニッ
and
ク、ロバー
Virginia
ト、F。
Governor, a man who's done an incredible job, and good luck with the upcoming election.
Kennedy
I know you're
Jr.
working
博士。
very hard. I watch you. You're right there. He's out there working. He wants to see that young woman win,
オズと
and the Attorney General, who I
ケ
endorsed,
リー上院議員と男性一
etc.
生懸命働いています。
Glenn Youngkin. Thank you very much, Glenn. Thank you for being
彼は
here.
望ん
For
でいる。
many years, Americans have paid the highest prices anywhere in
そ
the
れを見て
world、for
そして多くの人々にとってアメリカ
prescription
人は何
drugs
年もか
by
けて、
by far. Many times the amount that other countries are paying is
どこよりもお
ridiculous.
得な価格世界。
Upon taking office, I signed an executive order to make
処方
sure that
薬の場合、
Americans pay no more for prescription medications than the lowest price or the same
は
drug
るかに、そし
in
て、
other locations in developing nations. Today,
就任にあたり、
AstraZeneca
私
is
は大統領命
committing
令、
to offer all of their prescription medications to Medicaid at most
アメリ
favored
カ人は、
nations prices. In other words, the lowest
誰もが
price
支払わなければならない
anywhere
代
in the
償を
world.
払っている
That's
国家
what
は
we
報
get.
酬を受け取る。
A move that will save American taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars each year.
本日アストラゼ
And
ニカは
I
再
tell
活
the story, Glenn, that in my
世界の
first
どこでも
term,
価格、それ
I
が
had
我々
the
が得るもの、
honor
動き
of
だ。
being the first president in 28 years to
それはアメリカを救う
lower
だろう
drug
納税者数
prices
百ド
during
ル。
the course of
毎
the
年私
year.
はこう言います話。
And we actually did, and I was so proud of myself. We called a news conference. I announced it.
最初の任期で私は名誉を受けました28年に初代大統領として。
One
薬価
eighth
引き
of
下げに何年もかかる年間を通じ
Now
て、
drug prices
そして
are
実
going
際
to
に
be
そうしま
going
した。
down
自分をとても誇りに思う。
100%,
記者会見。
400%,
それは 1% の8分の1でした。
600%, 1000% in some
これから
cases.
薬価は 100% 下
But
落、
for one eighth of
400%、
a cent, Bobby, think of that. I was so proud
パー
because
セン
for
ト、
28 years
600%、
nobody had done
1000%
it.
イン。い
And
くつかのケースで
now
は、
it's,
しかし、
I think back to that. I said I shouldn't have had that
1% の
news
8分の1につい
conference,
て考
but
えてみましょう。
it's true.
28
I
年
was
間
the
誰も
only
知らな
one
かった。
that did it,
や
but
った
it was not very much. And now we're going to get in some
そして
cases
私はそのことを思い出してそうすべきではなかった。
reduction. This is going to
そ
have
の
a
記者会見があったが
huge
それは本
impact
当だった。
on
私は。
everything from Social Security
そ
to
れをしたのはたった
Medicare
一
to
人だったがあまり多くはない
Medicaid.
が、
Anything where they're
今は。
buying
1000件の
any
案件に対応し
prescription
ます。パー
drugs
セント
is。going to have an incredible impact.
それ
It's
は
going to lower itself greatly.
あらゆる
AstraZeneca
ものに
will
大きな影響
also
を与える。
list
社
many
交
of their most popular drugs online at
セキュリティ、メディケア、
trumpRx.gov.
メディケイド、アメリカ人がどこで買っても。
I don't know why they put the name
薬
Trump. I
物。
did not tell them to do it, but I'm honored to let them do it. That's true, actually. That heavily
アストラゼ
reduced
ニカは
most
価格は T の
favored
オンライン
nations'
価格。
cost. Americans can expect discounts, and as I
ランパクス
said,
.com。
it could be in many
理由はわ
cases
からない。
way over 100%. And as an example, one particular
彼らは
drug
作った。
that's hot, very hot, 654%.
しかし彼らはそれを
On
やった。
inhalers, COPD and asthma, as well as certain diabetics
例えば、一
medications,
つのダニの薬は、
they're going to be averaging about
熱いです。
654% reduction in price. You believe that one?
喘息、
The
コッド、
Democrats
特
will
定の
say,
糖尿
well,
病
we should
薬
have。gotten more.
彼ら破産するだろう。
Crazy. In addition, all medications AstraZeneca
654% 削減価格。あなたはそれを信じますか？民主党は言うだろう。あなたはもっと得るべきだった。クレイジー。
Furthermore, AstraZeneca will invest $50 billion in the United States over the next 5 years.
さらに、これらの薬はフォワードは以下で販売されます。大幅割引料金。彼らは50を投資するでしょう。今後5年間で10億新しい研究のための都市。医薬品及び製造業。新しい計画のように田舎風。
And that's going to be a fantastic
シャーロッツビル。
plant. I saw a picture. It's going to be the best, right? You can't get any better.
昨日、バージニア州3600人の雇用をまず第一に、そしてそれは素晴らしい植物になりましょう。それはいい、手に入らない。よりいい。これは素晴らしい勝利だ、バージニア州の場合。アメリカの患者のためにすべて国。素晴らしい会社ユナイテッドに来る。州はこのように大きな方法で大きな部分を占めることになる。会社、大統領は約束してきたコスト削減の年。ヘルスケアのしかし私の行政が最初にそれをやり、そしてそれを数字でやる不可能だと思っていました。考えてみれば、一つある 2%、5%、いい仕事だ。約200、300の話です。場合によっては700。最大の企業は私たちと一緒に働くことは現実だから楽しみにオープニングに出席して。その素晴らしい施設と聞こえます。美しい場所です。そこで私は質問したいのですが、ケネディ国務長官へ。博士が少しお話しします。オズ。
Thank you, Mr. President. I talked about this a little yesterday in the cabinet meeting.
ヤングキガー、私は買われてしまった。ボビー、お願い。より非常に大きいこれについては少し話しました。昨日とそれ。繰り返す価値があるのは。歴史的な。私たちの努力。事実上すべての民主党員の国は私に彼らの先入観、完了を確認する。そして私はコミットメントと継続 IRA の薬価交渉IRA 最初の年民主党交渉10、2年目は15歳。そして民主党は 22% で私は感謝した。そのために実際にそれを見たとき私は代理店に来ました。私たちが何者か分かっていますか？実際に支払う22削減率はこの価格とメディケアが最終的に支払うことになった。薬代448円、2円程度%割引。それが計画だったのですが彼らはそうしました。私たちは継続しています。RA 交渉はおかげさまで現在の指導者たち、私たち、何かを達成したここは特別な場所です。彼が20年間抱いてきた夢。彼は何かを見た20。数年前、アメリカ人は同じ薬を何度も服用し、これらの薬の多くは製造施設、新しいジャージー、1で販売、10日ロンドンの価格と、パリとアメリカ人ははるかに高い料金を請求されました。すべての共和党大統領は、これはゴールドスタンダードだった。聞き取れない、そして私はそうだったと言わざるを得ない。FFN を行うことに悲観的、オズ博士は悲観的だったが、私たちが連れてきた人々は悲観的。大統領は何かを見たどれが見れなかったのか。私たちには影響力がある。それが我々の関税を通じて。そして私たちは驚異的なレバレッジで長持ち今週はファイザー社が最大
And the president saw
今日の製薬会社
President
私
asked
た
us
ち
to
は
do three things. One, to get MFN prices.
アストラゼネカは
Two, to not bankrupt these companies. He understood that America has to be the
ヨーロッパ最大の製薬会社
The drug industry
大統領にはカップルがいる優先順位に
It's
ついて
critical for its bottom line. It's critical for the health of the American people. And he asked us also to make sure
破産しないために
that those companies would keep their promise to
当社
reshore this industry. Our
重
national
要なので改
security
善してくださ
purposes
い
for our
アメリカ
economy
人の健康と
is critical.
その他は
These companies are making these drugs in
こ
the
れを必
United
ず確認し
States.
てください了解
We were able to achieve all those things, and partially
国家安全保障のために私たちの経済は重要でありこれらの企業はこれらを作っていた薬物
understood that
アメリカ合衆国では私たちはこれらすべてを達成する
if everybody is not pulling the oars, if everybody doesn't have the skin,
そして彼らはイノベーションを理解したり
oh, the whole world was
ビジネスがうまくいかないのは誰もがあなたの
riding on our dime. 70% of
誰もがそうでない場合
pharmaceutical
体重
revenues
ゲームに参加しましょ
from
う
this country. We only have 4.2%
全体
of
的
the
には
world's population. And we were paying
私
for
たちの肩の上
80% of the innovation here. And the rest
私たちの
of the
10
world
セント
was
何枚
a
ダッシュ
free
引き取れない
rider. And Pascal understood that that's not fair and it's not a good, sustainable
80、
long-term business
90% を支払っていましたイノベーションのためにそして私たちはそれがそうではないことを理解しました公平であり
leaders to come to the table. I want to thank him for his
良好な持続可能長期ビジネスモデル
for operating with us in good faith. And this is an
そし
extraordinary
て彼はテーブ
deal.
ルに来た一人最初に来たリーダーたちテーブルと感謝したい私たちと共に活動してくれた彼に感謝します誠意を持ってそしてこれは並外れたとそれだけでなく大統領はまた指摘された彼は安心させてくれるこの業界には19の我が国の施設もう一つあります
Another facility in Rockville, Maryland, and a fourth facility in Copper, Texas, right outside of Dallas-Fort Worth.
第2の施設もう一つメリーランド州ロックビルの施設そして4番目の施設はダラス、フォートワース郊外のテキサス州そして彼は計画を持っている
demonstrated in his own commitment to make drug prices lower for hardworking Americans. So I want to thank the president for your visionary leadership. I want to thank Dr. Haas
優れたリーダーシップ大統領
for
価格改善へ勤勉なアメリカ人のために
Dr. Heidi Overton,
だから感謝したい
Theo Merkel, Chris Klump,
彼の
and
リーダー
John
シップと
Brooks
ドクターに
all
感謝しま
played
す
critical parts in the negotiation. And of course, Howard
オズの交渉
Lutnick, who was the key to these negotiations.
ディール、クリス、クラウブ、そしてボス
Who do we bring up now? Dr. Haas.
Thanks, Secretary.
ハワード、リトウィックはこれらの交渉
I get to introduce
より非常
Pascal,
に
which
大
I'll
きい
do
秘
with
書官
great
様
joy and honor. So the world is watching
笑い
as President Trump tries to make peace in every
より
place
非
he
常に
can
大きい
go.
パスカルを紹介させていただきます私はそうするつもりでありそ
President
れは
Trump is putting
名誉
peace into the hearts of Americans
世
and
界は
bringing
注目
peace
してい
of
るトランプ
mind
大
to
統領
them,
は
especially Americans who cannot
彼が
afford
行くと
their
ころはどこでも面倒なめだ
medications.
がざ
And just to put a number on
同時に
this, as he releases us from the bondage of paying 3 times
トランプ
more
大統領は
for
心
the
の平和
exact same
余裕の
product
ない
made
アメ
in
リ
the
カ人
same
彼らの
factory,
薬
in the same pill
3回
box,
支払
in
う
the
ことの束
same
縛倍以上
instruction manual overseas, rather in this country than we pay overseas.
全
It
く同
creates
じ
an
製品
opportunity
同じ
for us because, Mr. President, you're turning the art of the deal into the
工
art
場
of the
同じ
heel.
薬箱同じ
And
指示
that
に
is
従って
something that you're going to
私
witness
たちにとって
today.
の
And
チャン
it's
ス
the second we have more coming, but this is a
大統
very
領
important
あなたは
one.
方向
So I
転換
want
してい
to
ます
set
取
the
引の芸
stage
術
here. And, Mr.
盗む芸
Secretary, you're
術
too modest.
それがあなたが目撃するも
Secretary
の
Kennedy did have a vision to
今
push
日
hard
そして
on
さらに
this.
これからしか
He
し
understood
これ
we
は非
could
常に
give
重
the
要なこ
right
とです
medications to the
一
right
つ こ
people
こ
at
で
the
舞台を
right
設定したい
time.
と思います
And there is
無
nothing
事
more maha
召喚はビジョンを持っていたこれを強く推進してください
than giving folks
彼は
life-saving
私たちが
medications
右
in a
頭の
timely
機会
fashion
に
to prevent illnesses and treat other ones that have already occurred. You save
適
lives
切な人
that
材を
way.
適切な場所
That
に時間
literally
とは
is
無で
what
ある
was on the line as we began negotiating these. So let's
与え
set
る
the
以上の
stage.
まが命を救う
Where are
薬
we right now? Why this order?
予防士
Last
治療
week
士
in this
空
very
気
room, President Trump welcomed the CEO of
そ
Pfizer
れは
and
文字
that
通り危機に
company,
瀕していた交渉
a
を始めた
leading
時
U.S. pharmaceutical company,
具体
pledged
設定
to
先週まさ
provide
にこれ
exactly what the president promised.
トランプ大統領が会談ファイザーとその会社で、大手製薬会社大統領が約束した。大幅な割引を約束この国もやったわ。私たちは国民に海外の人よりも多く支払います。そしてこれは考えられないことだった6、7ヶ月前、私たちは政権につきました。そしてアメリカ人は今、それを行う能力ですが、私たちはそれを証明する必要があった。スケーラブル。そこで彼は、アストラゼネカは会社、世界中をめぐり、私たちと一緒に最愛なるものへの更新、やったと私たちは大統領の要求、公正な薬価設定を求める声が上がった地球の周りで、そして私が実際に最も考えているのは私たちが持っていた強力なツールは、大統領になるのは人々が彼、深刻なそして周囲の人々世界の始まり、リグが終わったことを理解する。私はバンナホワイトをやりますもの。他にもメンバーがいます。私がこれから話すチーム。2番。だからトランプ RX、コム型匿名の。大統領は一人ではなかった。それに関与していたが、それは必要だったと思っている。上品な名前で、購入するには適切な場所へ適切な医薬品。第2に、肺疾患大幅な値下げで、大統領が強調した大幅割引。私たち肌が一つを選んだ病気と一つ。メタボリックシンドロームの場合、糖尿病。我々は持っていた。各地で価格操作が行われている国となぜ知事。ヤングティーがバック中をしています。価格が上昇し続けると、厳粛な儀式に臨む。私たちはそれについて話すつもりです。無事。この取引の時点で大統領、95% の薬物が医師。最も有利な状況で利用可能全国価格設定。アメリカ人が支払うことになる。これらの価格と、もしあれば海外でのよりいい価格設定と、製造業では言及され、私は立ち上がった。ヤング金知事とともに。昨日、彼はバージニア州シャーロッツブル。難しい。ハット、縁がある大統領、それは建設中なので。私が持ち帰ることができるものはすべて、その出来事の本当の意味は、はい。信号を送る、世界中の国々への信号。世界はただ乗りをやめるアメリカのイノベーション。完了しました。もう怒らないこの大統領とあなたが。約束を守らないお買い得、歓迎します。彼らはあなたの海岸に。皆さんに話しかけて、ピックアップしゃべる、素晴らしい場所。アストラゼネカの施設。私たちに示し、素晴らしいこの国の将来。ケネディ国務長官は次のように語った。妥協はしません。とにかく、公平になるアメリカ国民への価格。そこにたどり着くのは大変だよ。それはどれほど難しいことか。そして、私たちは、アストラゼネカのメンバー直接対決とその理由。彼らがやってくるから政府はこれに応える。世代の大統領彼らが感じている機会。彼らの心が変化をもたらします。私たちは営業しており、もしあなたが素晴らしいフィギュアが欲しい愛国者よ、一緒にしよう。大統領が彼は明らかに政府の違い、最後に感謝したい助かる、結出した。個人、生まれた場所、フランス、オーストラリア国民、そして血統について話すと、彼はとても賢い人です。物事を真剣に受け止める。そして認識する。ヨーロッパモデルと無料ローディング、デスオーパスカル、テイク。
chance to meet you last time you
それ
visited the UK for your state visit. I know the king actually kept you late during the night, during your visit, late
離れ
up
て
at night. And I must thank you actually for returning the favor. I can tell you
拍手
you've
聞き取れない
kept me up at night and my team as well. But it has been really worth it.
より非常に大きい感謝しなければなりません。
I'm really excited to announce
実は
AstraZeneca's
私たちに参加してくれたことに対し
your
て
vision for a healthy America. Great
それは本
leadership
当にうまくい
is
きました。
about having an ambitious vision that can energize people.
この取引を発表できることを嬉しく思います。アメリカ人のために。
talented team that can deliver on this. Your
これは
vision
野
is
心的なことだと
exactly
思う
that.
ビジョンから実現
It
へ。
is about lowering the price of medicines for
人
American
々とあなたのビ
patients
ジョンに活力を与えるまさにその通
while
りです。
ensuring that America
価格を下げ
remains
る
a
ことが目
global
的です。アメリカのため
powerhouse
の
of
医薬品。
innovation in
患者とそれを保
biopharmaceuticals.
証。
And that's not easy to do. We need to keep inventing the
マーキュリー・メイズ。
technologies and the products that will cure disease. But you actually gave us a key,
アメリカは
equalization. That's an important word. You've
イノベー
assembled
シ
a
ョンにおけるグローバル
remarkable
パワー。
team actually that together with
それで
us
競れない。
found a way to deliver on your vision. I would like to thank you, Mr. President,
実に素晴
for
らしい
your
チームとともに
collaborative and your trusting approach throughout the
私たち、
discussion
そして
that
あなたに
led
感
to
謝し
this
たいです。
agreement.
宮司。
In addition, I would like to thank Secretary
あなたのための大
Lutnick,
統領。
like to thank Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Oz, and the CMS
これに
team,
至る
in
議論とさらに
particular
私
John
は
Brooks, who is here today, but also Chris Klump, for their very
オズ
straightforward
博士に感謝
approach
する
and
ケネ
their
ディとチーム。
collaborative work that together with my great team at AstraZeneca enabled us to
昨日参
deliver
加しました。
this agreement today. It is an agreement that allows a number of
素
wins.
晴らしい
First
チーム
of
と
all,
とも
a
に
great
私た
win
ちは
for
合意に達す
American
ることができる。
patients.
今日、
This agreement will deliver improved access
それは合意で
to
あ
our
る。
medicines at a lower cost. We've
大きな利
addressed
益
the
を期待
4
する。
points that you raised in your letter, ensuring
アメリカの患者、
Americans do not pay
4つのポイ
more
ントについ
than
てお話ししました。
patients in other wealthy countries.
あなたの手紙で
So
提起
it's
さ
a
れた。
big win for patients and the healthcare system as a whole.
アメリカ人は
But
支
it's
払わない
also
と
a
示す
big
他の
win
患者
for
よ
the
りも
economy
国
and。for taxpayers.
これは患者にとって大きな
Because
勝利であ
it
る。そしてアメリカ全体だが、
supports the cost
ま
of
た大き
innovation
な勝利は
across wealthy nations. For too long,
経済と納税
America
者
has
なぜなら
shouldered a disproportionate portion
コストのバランス調整全
of
国
the
に広がるイノベー
world's
ション。
R&D cost for breakthrough medicines.
アメリカはあまりにも長い間運ば
That
れた。
imbalance is not sustainable. It had to change. And equalization levels the playing field,
不均衡なコス
with
ト。
wealthy nations contributing their fair share to
世
the
界とその
cost
不均衡は不
and
労
the
続行。
risk associated with biopharmaceuticals.
これは
R&D.
私たちにチャンスを与え
And
て
I
くれ
would
る
say
協
it's
議の場を
also a
平等に
big
する。
win for state budgets because this Medicaid price reductions
アメリ
will
カ
have
人
an
にとって最
immediate
良のコストサ
impact
ム、スーツの仲
on
間。
Medicaid budgets and provide
コールすれば大
substantial
活都市州
relief
予算の
to
ために
state budgets. Finally, your vision
多く
also
の人が計り
secures
知れない影響。
America's strong position in life sciences and the onshoring of critical innovations and manufacturing. As a company, we will invest $50 billion in manufacturing and in R&D. We already have a large presence in the United States. We have 19 sites, and we employ 25,000 people around the country. They're all developing the new
すでに大きな
generation
米
of
国におけるプレゼン
medicines.
ス。
We
19。
will continue to increase our
拠点
presence
と2
in
万
this
5千人の雇用
country.
全国
We're
各地で。
expanding our manufacturing
新世代の
footprint
育成
in
に取り組む医学の
Texas.
しかし
We're
私たちは
building our second large
引き続き増加この
R&D
国での存在。
center in Kendall Square in Boston. We are
私たち
building
は拡大
a
していま
cell
す。
therapy manufacturing plant in Rockville, Maryland, and
製
there's
造
more
拠
to
点とボスト
come.
ンのもう一つの
So
工
a
場で
lot
は
of investment over
製
the
造業を
next
持
few
つ。
years. I want to say that I
メ
appreciate
リーラン
very
ド州の
much
工場などたくさんの投資が来た。
Secretary Lutnick
今後数年間にわたって
granting us a 3-year tariff exemption to
感
localize
謝の
the
気持ちを伝えた
remainder
いと
of
て
our
も
products. Most of our products are locally manufactured, but we need to transfer
ルトウィック
the
長官残り
remaining
の人
part
生
to
を認
this
識する
country.
製品
And also for your great support to convince also other wealthy
当社の
countries
製品
to
のほ
share
とんど
the
は
cost of pharmaceutical innovation. It is an important
す
part
でに
of
現地で製造
this agreement, rebalancing and
しかし
the
他の
cost
人を
around
説
the
得するためにも費用を分
country,
担
around
する
the
国
world.
々イノベーションは重
Yesterday
要です要素
showcased our commitment to the United States
この
with
契約の
this
世界中のコスト
$4.5 billion investment in the beautiful Commonwealth of Virginia to manufacture what we call
昨日は私たちの
API,
ユナイテッ
active
ドへのコミットメント
ingredients
週
for our
4ドル
medicines, but also antibody drug conjugates
50
that
億ド
are
ルの
such
投
a
資バージニア
critical
州
part of the future treatment of cancer care,
それが
what is
私たちが呼ぶもの
called, smart chemotherapy, targeted chemotherapy.
RPI
I
だが
want to
重要な
thank Dr. Oz for joining us for the groundbreaking ceremony
イノベーションとがんの
near
治む寺
Charlottesville, together
オズ
with
博士に感謝したい
Governor
私たち
Youngkin.
と一緒に
And I
画期
actually
的
love your AstraZeneca hat. I know you wanted to bring a shovel,
シャーロッツビルでの式典
didn't
ととも
make
に
it to this beautiful room. I have to say it has been a really
ヤング県知事と
great
私は知ってい
pleasure
ます。
to
あなたが
work
望んだ
with Governor Youngkin and his
シャベルを
team
持って
in
こなければいけませんでした
particular
どこか別の場
Secretary
所
Segura on this investment. Like you, President Trump, they are deal makers
私は言わ
that
ざるを
move
得
at
ま
the
せん。喜び
speed of business. And it's very important for us
チームと
company
交
to
渉す
be
る
able to work with people who understand who we are and move very fast. Our new
動
facility
き
will
続
be
け
a
るメーカー
great
たち
example of Virginia supporting domestic production of medicines
この
for
スピードと重要な
America,
私たちが誰であるかを
enhancing
理解して
national
ください。
security in
バージニア州
pharmaceutical
が支援医薬
supply,
品の製造
but also create thousands of highly skilled jobs. Governor Youngkin gave
アメリ
me
カのために
a
そして
beautiful
強化するために
Virginia
安全
flag that we will proudly fly
医薬品が供給
alongside
の
the
また
American
クローは数
flag
千人を辞
in
めた
front of our new facility. So AstraZeneca's commitment to the United States is very
何千も
strong.
の他のものを作成
And
薬
this
物
agreement ensures we'll make an even bigger difference for American
ヤング
patients.
県知事は私に
So, Mr. President, thank you again for
式典でのアメリカ
welcoming
国
me
旗
in
そし
this
てこれは
beautiful
私たちが均等
office
に
and
作ること
for
を示してい
making
ます
this moment possible.
アメリカにとって
Thank you.
大きな変化感謝改めて感謝申し上げます。私を歓迎するこの美しいオフィスでは
Well, first of all, I just want to thank everyone for celebrating this landmark moment. This
ありがとう。
landmark moment is not just a
よ
moment
り非常に
to
大きいまず第一に
announce a
私は
new
皆様
way
に感
to
謝申し上げ
buy
ま
less
す
expensive
この記念すべき節目を祝う一
life-saving
瞬
medicine, but it is a step
この画
function
期的な瞬間はちょっとお知らせです
in the way that Virginians and
新しい購入方法
Americans can access medicines.
高価な救命薬しか
And
し
it is a step function change because
ステップ関数の
historically
変
there
化ア
was
メリ
an
カ人がアクセス
opaque
できる方
pricing
法
mechanism that had so many
薬
people standing between the manufacturers
それは
and the patients that no one knew really what it cost. Well, now we can go
ステッ
direct
プ関数の変化
to
はそれはとても
consumers. And that's what Trump
間に
RX
立
is
つ多く
all
の人々
about.
メーカー
Going
と
direct to
誰も本当に
consumers,
費用がいくら
where
かかるか分かっ
consumer
てい
can
た
come and
今なら直接に行けま
find
す消
that
費者
particular
それ
medication
が
that
ドナ
they
ルド
need
トランプらについ
and
て
go
直
direct to the
接
company and get
消
the
費者が消費
best
者になれる場所
possible
ぜひその特
price.
別なものを見つけてください
Second of all, the
薬彼ら
most favored nation clause
必要な場合は直接そこに行ってください可能な限り最良の価格を手に
It's
入
a
れましょう
groundbreaking moment because as you've heard that American
第2に
customers
最も少なく
have been paying 3, 4, 5 times what
画期的な瞬間
international customers have been paying.
そして画期的な瞬間ご存知の通りアメリカの
Mr.
顧客は
President,
支
I
払い
want
を
to
続け
thank
ている
you
3回
for
4回
simply
5回
recognizing that America
海
must
外のお
offer
客様支払っているがそれは
and
公平無事
Americans deserve the best pricing, not the
大統領
worst.
感謝しますそれをただ
It
認識
changes
するだけで
everything for a state.
アメリカが第
In
一であ
Virginia,
り
we
アメリカ
have
人は最高
$1.5
のものに値する
billion
価格は最悪ではありません
of
それは全てを変えるバージニア州
pharmaceutical expenditure under our Medicaid plan.
私たちには10億と
$1.5 a year. We save 10%.
製薬業界の半年支出額
30%. All of a sudden,
私たちのメディケイドプラン
$150, $300 million, $450 million in savings can be realized by a state.
10%、20%、
Now, I firmly believe that's
30%、
the
すべ
people's
て
money, and it should go back in tax relief.
突然
But
300、
think
4
about
億
the
5000万ドル実
change
現される
that enables for a state
そして
as
私
they
は固く信じています
manage
国民のお
their
金は
healthcare
戻ってくるべきだ
expenditures.
彼らにとってしか
Finally,
し変
Mr.
化
President, you have driven a
それは彼らが使用のために可能にする医療費を
reshoring
管理する
of
つい
critical
に
supply
ミスター
change
大
that
統領
no
あなた
one
運転し
thought
た
could
ことがあ
happen.
る
The industries that everyone thought were lost are now
重
coming
要な供給
home,
の国内回帰誰も
and
考えなかった鎖
pharmaceutical
起こり得る
manufacturing and active pharmaceutical ingredients
誰もが失われたと
particularly
思っていたも
coming
のが
back
今
to America.
光る
It changes everything. It's an
家庭と医薬品
economic
製造
moment for us. Yes, $4.5 billion into the
お
Virginia
よび有効成分医
economy,
薬品特に
and
供
that
給は
will in fact translate into $3 or $4
私たちにとっての
of
経済
extra
的瞬間
economic impact for every dollar that is spent. 3,600 great
45
paying
億ドルバージニア
jobs.
州の経済と
But it's
それは
even
3
more
つに
than
翻訳
that.
されます4つ
This is a national security moment. And what you've just heard
送金する1
is
ドルごとに
one of the
数千の
leading
高収入
pharmaceutical
の仕事だが
companies in
そ
the
れ以上にそれよ
world
りも
is choosing America
これは国家
and
安全
yes,
保障だ瞬
Virginia
間とあなたが今
to invest nearly
ハードは
$5
製薬
billion
会社
to build the most critical
世界はアメリカを選
manufacturing
ぶ
for the future of America's health. That's not just a single example. It's happening all over.
建
And
設
in
に
fact,
50 億
in
ドルを投
Virginia,
資重要
Mr.
な製
President,
造業
we've been blessed
アメリカの未来健
with
康
nearly $10 billion of commitments
これ
to
は単なる一
build
つの出来事ではな
new
くそれは至
pharmaceutical
るところで起こっています
manufacturing
バージ
in
ニ
the
ア
great
州では
Commonwealth
ミ
of
スター
Virginia. And
大統領
therefore, I believe
私
this
た
is
ち
a
は喜んでい
moment
ます
to
10ドルで
celebrate.
新たな建設への100万のコミットメント医薬品な製造業
But more
グレード
importantly,
コモンウェル
to
ス
celebrate
インバージニアだから私は
breakthroughs
こ
for
れは
American citizens to get access to life-saving
投資を
medicines
祝福しようしか
at
し
costs
もっと
that
大切なのは
they
祝うことです
deserve, because they're all
アメリカの薬
being
品市民がアクセスできるようにす
Mr.
る
President, you and your cabinet have been amazing.
命を救う薬
As a governor, I have found
誰もが負担
that
す
the
べきコスト国家
cooperation with
無事
every
大
one
統
of your
領
cabinet
あなたと
members, and sir, yes, you, has been beyond compare that I could ever imagine. I want to thank you for helping us make
あなたの内閣は
Virginia great again, too. Thank you.
私がペアになった想像できる。ご協力ありがとうございました。
So we have, at this moment, I think we just cracked $18
私たち
trillion
拍手
in commitments and
より非常に大きい
investments
ですから
in our country.
私たちは現時点
As
で
an example, the last administration was far less than $1
18 兆
trillion
ドルを
for
突破コ
4
ミットメントの
years.
例
We're at plus 18 trillion
前回の政権は遠い
for 8 months. There's never been
1兆
anything
ドル
like
以上
it
の
in history, in any country, anywhere in the
年
world. So
私たちはプラス
that's
18
great.
です
But
8ヶ月で1
maybe
兆ド
for
ル
purposes of this, more
これまでに
importantly,
経験したことのないどの国でも歴史は
prices down at numbers that nobody ever
世界
thought
中どこでもそれは素晴らしいけど
possible.
もしかしたら
Nobody ever even
これらの目
thought
的の
it
た
was
めに
possible. So we're going to be doing a lot of business, but
さらに
we're
重要
going
な
to
のは
be
薬価を引き
also
下げる
numbers
誰も可能だとは
that
思っていません
when
で
you're
した
2, 3, 4, 500% less. I
私
just
たちは
noticed
たく
one
さん
of
のことを
them
やります
over
ビジ
here,
ネスだが
654%
あなたがいるときは数字になりなさいね
discount.
3、4、
654.
500%
The laggard is
少なくて
98%.
私肌一つ気づいたこちらでは
Is
654%
that what? Wow, 96, 96, 230%, but 654, and we have some that top that by a lot. So it's really going to be incredible, and that's going to be so good for Medicaid and
遅れているのは
Medicare
96歳だ
and
が
everything.
それをはるかに
Frankly,
上回るもの
your
もあります
life, it's going to be so good.
本当に素晴ら
So
しいものに
nobody
なる
ever
でしょう
thought
そ
they
して
were
そう
going
な
to
るだ
see
ろ
it.
う
And don't let Democrats take the credit because they'll
メディケイドにとって
they'll
非
say,
常
"Oh,
にい
we
いこと
worked
であ
so
り
hard,"
メディケア
and they didn't work hard. They obstructed.
誰も
They
そんなこと
actually
は
did
思っ
the
ていなかった
opposite.
民主党を見ろ
So
見さ
that's
せない
really more important than even
功績を
the
認めて私たちはとても一生懸命働きました彼らは一生懸命働いたのではなく妨害され実際
trillion
に
with a T,
反対です
$trillion dollars. And
これが数少ない重要な投資が行われている
1 trillion
国内で製
for 4
造されてい
years
ますが
wasn't that
18兆
bad.
ド
He
ルを
did
突破
less than a trillion, but we did that in a period of 8 months. So it's pretty record-shattering
1兆
by many trillions of dollars. Any country,
ドル
no
と
matter
1兆
what
ドルでは
country
ない
you're
悪いけど
talking about, nobody's done numbers like that. So
私たちはそれ
thank
を
you all
8ヶ
for
月
being
でや
here.
った
Do
の
you
で記録
want
破
to
り
have
の
a
多数
couple of questions? Yeah, please.
数兆ドル誰も見たことのない数字それご来場いただいた皆様ありがとうございましたいくつか質問がありますかはいお願いします
Well, it's not 100%. You're talking about China might be
No, I'm talking
100%.
about the 100% you imposed on pharmaceuticals for that sector.
I would never
オフマイクより非常に大きい
Now,
中
I'm
国に
not
ついて
sure
話しているの
that
ですか
Pascal would like to say, but behind the scenes he did say tariffs were a big reason he came
私は
here,
絶対に
and
できなか
also
っただろう
the
持
fact
参
he
パスカル
loved
はよくわからない
Virginia, he liked
そうなる
this
でしょう
guy, he liked me.
舞台裏では関税が
I think the November 5th election was a very important date. We had a good election, and
彼がここに来たのには理由がある
But yeah,
そしてバージニアもこれが気に入っ
you've
た
seen a lot of-
男の
a lot
人
of-
彼は
I can
私と
speak
映
for
画好き
almost
だった
everybody that's here. Most of them are here because of tariffs. Because you have to understand, he
い
has
い
no
選挙
tariffs. If you build in this country, there are no
そしてとても
tariffs.
重要なことですが私はほぼ全ての人を代弁する
Just want to confirm, have you canceled
ここにこれを組み込む国関税はありません
and
So, but I don't know that we're going to have it. But I'm going to be there regardless. So I would assume
より
we
非常に
might
大きい
have
確
it.
認したい
But
のですが会議を杖で
you know,
大
they
統領11月
hit the world with something that
より
really
非常
is
に大き
not
いかどうかわからないそれを手に入れるために
anything that
私は
people
そ
are
こにいます
gonna do. And
関係な
it's,
く我々は
it
そう
was
するかもし
shocking.
れな
I
い
can tell you,
そ
Howard
れ
and I and
彼らは世界を席巻した
Todd, we all,
そうでない何か
we all,
人々ができることなら何でもやると衝撃的だった私流行る教
and
えて
it
よ
was, we said, where did
ハワー
that
ドと
come
私とトッ
from?
ド
It was
私たち
just-
全員スコット
that
私
was
たち
out
は
of the blue.
みんなそれについて以前話していたそしてそれはどこから来たのかと尋ねた
whole
から
import-export concept, and
それは
nobody,
突然の出来事だった青い
nobody
彼ら
knew anything about it. So.
if they roll back their export controls, the new announcement, would you
Well,
roll
yeah,
back?
Yeah,
look, we're going to have to see what happens. That's why I made it November 1st. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Mr. President, the last time, Mr. President,
Go ahead, please.
what else besides software could be on the table in terms of export
Oh,
controls?
a lot more. A lot more. I mean, you have software, but you have a lot more. We have airplanes. We have airplane parts. You remember that from last time. And we were just surprised at China. I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and they did that. This is not something that I, instigated. This was just a response to something that they did. And they didn't really aim it at us. They aimed it at the whole world. The whole world is subject to it. So I thought it was very, very bad. But we have many things, including a big thing is airplane. They have a lot of Boeing planes, and they need parts and lots of things like that, Steve.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to accept the Gaza deal, and what will be your message to the Knesset when you speak to them?
Well, he wanted it. It's been a long time. He's been fighting a long time. He's been fighting hard. He wanted it. It's a great deal for Israel, but it's a great deal for everybody, for Arabs, for Muslims, for everybody, for the world. And as you know, on Monday the hostages come back, They're getting them now. I mean, they're getting them now. They're in some pretty rough places under earth. They're in some pretty rough places where only a few people know where they are, in some cases. So they're getting them, and they're also getting the bodies, approximately 28 bodies. And some of those bodies are being unearthed right now as we speak. I mean, they're working on it right now as we speak. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. No, he was very happy with it. And I can tell you that I saw Israel dancing in the streets, but they were dancing in Qatar and Saudi Arabia and UAE and many, many countries. I saw Egypt. They were dancing. I'll be going to Israel. I'll be speaking at the Knesset, I think, early on. And then I'm also going to Egypt. They were terrific. But all of the countries were great. Indonesia was great. Jordan was great. They were all great. Everybody wants this deal to happen.
What happens in Gaza the day after the hostage release?
Day after what?
The day after the hostage release, what happens there then?
Well, hopefully you're going to have great success I call it everlasting success. I think you will too. I think you're going to have tremendous success, and Gaza is going to be rebuilt. And you have some very wealthy countries, as you know, over there, and it would take a small fraction of their wealth to do that. But and I think they want to do it. And we're also setting up, as you know, a board of peace. It's called the Board of Peace. I don't know if that's the final name, but the word peace is definitely in there. And they have asked me if I chair it. We'll make sure things go well.
And how confident are you that the ceasefire will hold?
I think it'll hold, yeah. I think it'll hold. They're all tired of the fighting. Don't forget, you had October 7th, which was a horrible day, 1,200 people killed. But Hamas has lost 58,000 people. That's big retribution. That's big retribution. People understand that. So, no, I think they're all tired of fighting. And this really gives the whole Middle East, this is beyond Gaza. Gaza is very important, but this is beyond Gaza. This is peace in the Middle East, and it is a beautiful thing. You know, it's a term that you and I have been hearing since we were very young, right? And now we have a chance of really having that. And as you know, most of the countries have passed all these resolutions. Every country is there. Iran came in. I was very happy to see that. I was very honored that Iran came in. They said they support it. Russia came in. President Putin, he supports it fully, very fully. So I was happy to see even countries that weren't necessarily involved in the process, they all support it. I don't know of anybody that doesn't. And I've never seen happier people than many of these places, not just Israel, many of these places. They're all dancing in the streets. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, go ahead, please, in the back.
Thank you. What guarantees did you give Hamas to persuade them that Israel will restart the bombing campaign once the hostages have been exchanged?
What did I do with respect to them? Well, you know, I spoke a little bit tough, and that's what would happen. I mean, you have to speak tough. That's a tough world. That's a tough, as they say, neighborhood. And they're tough people. They're very tough people, and they're smart people. They're good negotiators. They have a lot of things going. They put that to good use. They're going to be very, very successful. But they knew the retribution would be tremendous, unsustainable. It would have been unsustainable. It would have been complete obliteration, and they didn't want that. And nobody wants it at this point. They want to get on with rebuilding the entire Middle East. It's not only Gaza. It's going to be the entire Middle East. They're going to be able to live in peace. Now we have some little hot spots, but they're very small. You know the ones I'm talking about. They're very small. They'll be very easy to put out. Those fires are going to be put out very quickly. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Talking about the Middle East still, going to the phases that come after this first phase, is there consensus on the additional points in your plan, or are the details still being fine-tuned?
I think there is consensus on most of it, and some of the details, like anything else, will be worked out, because you'll find out that when you're sitting in a beautiful room in Egypt, it's easy to work something out, but then sometimes it doesn't work from a practical standpoint. So certain little things, but for the most part, there's consensus, yes.
Do you intend to hash that out when you're in Egypt?
I might, yeah. I mean, I'll be there because I'll be going to, I'll go to Cairo. I think that's where we're going, as opposed to the place of the signing. And we have a lot of leaders from all over the world coming too. They've been invited. And then I'm coming back, I believe it's Tuesday night, for Charlie Kirk, a friend of mine, a friend of all of ours, a friend of a lot of the people right here. And we're giving him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the highest honor you get outside of the Congressional Medal of Honor. One's military, one's civilian, but it's the greatest honor. And Erica's beautiful wife is going to be here, and a lot of people are going to be here. So, it's not easy for me to get back. It's a very quick trip, but I'll be making 2 major stops, and then I'll be on the plane trying to get back in time for Charlie. They're going to have a great celebration at the White House, in the East Room of the White House.
Mr. President? Russell Vogt said the reductions in force have begun related to this shutdown. How many layoffs have you authorized for this first round, and from which agencies?
And it'll be Democrat-oriented, because we figure, they started this thing, so they should be Democrat-oriented. It'll be a lot, and we'll announce the numbers over the next couple of days, but it'll be a lot of people, all because of the Democrats. I mean, they want to give $1.5 trillion to people that came into the country illegally. More important than that, because we all have a big heart. We want people to be taken care of, but we have 0 people coming in. You know that, Glenn, right? That's a pretty impressive number, even for a successful governor. But we've had, for the last 4 months, 0 people coming in illegally. They're coming in, but they're coming in legally. They're coming in through a process that's really a really good process right now, because we want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. So what we're doing is, as these different groups come due, we're going to make a determination. Do we want them or not? And I must tell you, a lot of them happen to be Democrat-oriented. These are people that the Democrats wanted, that in many cases were not appropriate. We fought them at the time, and it was ultimately signed in. And some of these people, these are largely people that the Democrats want. Many of them will be fired. Yes, please, behind.
The Nobel Peace Prize was announced this morning. Your thoughts?
Which one?
The Nobel Peace Prize. Your thoughts?
Look, including a very big one, and I'm not sure, when you say big, it's certainly, I think, to the mind of most, the most important deal ever made in terms of peace. But the one we just signed, it's been signed, sealed, and it's going to start taking place now. It's already started. Monday's going to be a very big day when the hostages come back. But I made 8 deals, transactions of wars. One was 31 years going on. 10 million people were killed. One was 34 years. One was 36, 37. One was 10. One was just starting. 2 were just starting, actually, but they were well on their way. In the case of India and Pakistan, 7 planes were shot down. It was a bad one. And I did it largely through trade. I mean, that one, numerous of them. I talked tariffs. I said, look, if you're going to do that, we're going to put very big tariffs on your country. And they were both great. They stopped fighting, and there were 2 nuclear powers. So, they're all big. They're every one of them big. You take a look at the Congo. You take a look at the Congo and Rwanda. 10 million people killed over a long period of time. Got that one solved. We did a total of 8 as of this. 2 days ago, I would have said 7, which I did say, but the other one was signed up, sealed. As you know, Israel signed it just now. They signed it and they approved it today, their parliament. And it's a great honor to be involved with so many. So the person who actually got the Nobel Prize called me and said, I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it. That a very nice thing to do. I didn't say then give it to me, though. I think she might have. She was very nice. And I've been helping her along the way. They need a lot of help in Venezuela. It's a basic disaster. So, and you could also say it was given out for 24, and I was running for office in 24. All of the transactions that we did in terms of closing. But there are those that say we did so much that they should have done it. But I'm happy because I saved millions of lives. Many millions of lives. And speaking of somebody that saves lives, don't ever play golf with it, because Keegan Bradley just walked in, one of the greatest golfers in the world, the captain of the Ryder Cup. And man, I'll tell you, you did a good job. You almost came back. I turned on. I said, I sort of turned off. It wasn't looking good. And then a little while later, I turned on. I said, "You guys might make that would have been the miracle." What a great job! He's respected by those golfers like nobody, and I just want to compliment you, Keegan. That was an incredible job. Right here, we have a lot of unfriendly fake news media, and he's not used to that. He's used to getting only good publicity, I think, Howard. These are all golfers. But you're some golfer, I'll tell you that, and some leader. Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you, Keegan.
Mr. President, on China.
Yeah, please.
On immigration, ICE are making arrests, targeted arrests at courthouses in New York City and around the country. To
Criminals, they're arresting criminals, that's right. Yeah,
So
go
what's
ahead.
your reaction to that?
I'm happy about it. I want them to arrest criminals. And if you take a look at D.C., a year ago, D.C. was our great capital was a very unsafe place. You know that. Some of you were mugged and talk openly about it. Some of the media was mugged. But right now, D.C. is one of the safest places in the whole country. The restaurants are booming. They're opening up new restaurants. The restaurants were all closing. Now you can't get into a restaurant. They're opening up new restaurants. It took 12 days for us. We sent in not politically correct military. We sent them in based on merit. You know, we won the case in the Supreme Court. Everything now is based on merit. Our country was founded on things based on merit. Like Keegan Bradley's not going to be playing golf if he wasn't a great player. If he shoots lower scores, there's no more merit system than that one, Keegan, right? If you miss a putt, they don't say, "Oh, that's okay, let's take it again," do they? No, it's based on merit. Everything's based on merit. And we're back to the merit system. And when they saw that military is all about merit. They're big, strong people that they're patriots too. And you take a look at D.C., and now we're in Memphis, and Memphis was really crime-ridden. It was terrible. A lot of people being killed. And they say in 12 days they can't even believe how much better it is. And it'll take probably a month over there. And we're heading to Chicago because we want to save Chicago. Do you know they had over 4,000 people killed in Chicago over a short 4,000 people. And I have to watch this slob of a governor stand up and say that, well, everything's okay. We've got it under control. They had 4,000 people murdered over a very short period of time. There's not a city in the world, I don't believe, that can claim, you hear so much about I won't, embarrass anybody, like by saying Mexico City or by saying anywhere in Afghanistan. There's no place like that. And then I have to listen to the mayor who's got a 5% approval rate, maybe less. He's an incompetent man. And the governor's an incompetent guy. He's a guy that was thrown out of his family business like a dog. And I know his family very well. And now he's a governor. And when I watch him trying to say that it's okay, we have crime under control, I lost 4,000 people over a very short period of time. I believe it's like 7,000 people were shot but didn't die. But 4,000 people died. And then he gets up and talks about how it's not a problem. Or Portland, Oregon. I mean, every time I look at that place, the place is burning down. There's fires all over the place. When a store owner, there are very few of them left, but when a store owner rebuilds a store, they build it out of plywood, and they don't put up storefronts anymore. They just put wood up because they know it's going to be ripped down. And then I hear how wonderful it is. It's not wonderful. It's a disaster. That's almost an insurrection, that place. So we put our people in there, and they do the job, and they've really done the job. And the beautiful thing is we've done it. 12 days we had this place safe, and now it's, I would say within a month, it was beautiful. And it continues to be. That was 3 months ago. I'll tell you, D.C. now is one of the hottest places, just like this country. We were a dead country, and you've heard me say it 100 times. We were a dead country. King of Saudi Arabia said it. Others say. The Emir of Qatar said it. Many. UAE said it. The leader, great leader, UAE, all great leaders. They said effectively the same thing. 1 year ago, we had a dead country. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I just want to thank everybody, and I want to, in particular, thank AstraZeneca. What a great company you have. What a company you've built. You've been there a long time and done some job. It's an honor to have you. I assume you're going to build, so it's $4.5 billion for a plant. That's a pretty big plant, isn't it? I was going to say, could he make it a little bit more? Well, we have a couple of them where they're going to spend $65 billion on one plant, AI. All I know is it's, AI is based on information. I hope they're right about information. I don't know. You got to make a lot of money there's got to be a lot of information out there, but that seems to be pretty hot. But we have a lot. We're leading the world on information on AI, as you know, by a lot. It's not even close. So we're doing a job. And I want to thank everybody, but in particular, Pascal, thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Have a good time.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Let's go.